What's up, guys? Nick Crone here. And in this video, I'm going to go into how much money I made specifically in all of May. Now it's June 1st, 2021, and I had an incredible month. And guys, this takes a lot of balls for me to kind of share some of this stuff. So please, 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 I'm a new channel, like and subscribe, and I'll continue making more videos like this. Okay. So before I jump into the specific transactions that made up the income that I received last month, let me just briefly overview. In this channel, we talk a lot about, a little bit of my life. We talk a lot about finances and net worth. And so I track most of this stuff for my own personal benefit and gain. And so there's nothing about this that I'm bragging or anything like that. So if you find this helpful, please drop a comment. I'd love to respond and help anyone out possible. Okay, so I have many income sources. Okay, I have some business stuff. I have a little bit of W-2 stuff. I have a lot of real estate and rents that I collect. I have digital programs. I obviously have some dividends that pop in, and a new Airbnb VRBO business. And this is where most of my active income comes from. And most of it honestly comes from this one source here is the generate royalties from one of my businesses. Okay. My net worth does swing, and it comes from active income and then these appreciation sources. Of course, the value of my businesses and the notes that I've purchased, I don't track as part of my net worth. And so my net worth is hovering around $1.8 million. And it's been there for a couple months now. So with that said, let me jump into the active income side here. And last month in May, I generated nearly $95,000. Now, this is the most revenue I've ever generated ever, I believe. I have had months, I've sold a house before and I've had six-figure checks. Last month I did a refinance and I pulled out $350,000 cash. I don't include that as active income. That's part of my net worth that I already had. And so when I do some sort of transaction like that, I don't count that. But last month was the biggest ever. And it's really weird because, in December, when I kind of started tracking this for the first time, I was like, well, holy crap, 50,000 is like really, really good. And obviously this is gross income. This is not taking into effect the costs and how I spend my money. My net worth did not jump up $100,000 last month. I have, I'm building a tiny container home right now, and man, it is not cheap. And so my net worth may have actually gone down, $20,000, $30,000. So $95,000, that's what I generated last month. So let's kind of go into it. Now it's the start of June. At the start of the month, this is income that I'm expecting here in the first week, and it's about $48,000. This is not money I've collected yet. Usually, and I even, looking at the end of yesterday, I usually tally up my dividends at the end of the month. I haven't even tallied up the end of my dividends. That's why it's green. So estimated 550. I do need to update that still. It could be a little bit more, could be a little less, but either way, we're around that $95,000 mark. So let's start at the beginning of the month. What made up this $95,000? And I'm going to just zoom in one more time here so you guys can see. These are individual transactions. So I have a lot of income that comes in from rent alone. We have 5 different renters. So I had $8,700, $8,800 nearly come in from this. Now, I have 2 tenants that were month to month that I'm letting go. They left as of last night or this morning, and all day today I'm going and I have to paint one of the basements, and then we're going to pull out carpet because they had some pets that weren't supposed to be there. And so I'm probably spending about $4,500, $5,000 to get the basement apartment all ready to go. So I have two new tenants coming up here soon. So, but I collected $8,000 in rent, and that's a consistent for me. If I go to the previous month. And, I have some renters here. Um, you know, I'm collecting, $6,700. And I have some crappy tenants, and they're the ones going away. I mean, they look at this, paid on the 15th. So, we're making some changes here, but it's pretty consistent that I'll collect about $8,000. When I get new tenants in, it'll be about $9,000 a month, collecting rent. I have lots of other income here. So I have one business specifically where we do e-commerce, and it's this trickle effect. So $30 transactions. We have a lot of those. $300 transactions, and then I have some Amazon income. This one here is a little bit lower my totem pole. This guy here. So let me talk about this company here, TM. And of course, I have a little bit of anonymity here to kind of keep things on the down low, but I'm happy to be transparent. So I made a video, the best investment I ever made. I purchased some notes, some debt from a company. And if you guys like, I would be happy to go over that again. But I purchased some debt, and every single week I get paid from it. So this is one of my main income sources. I spend about, if I go to the note tracker here, I spent $58,000 kind of on a whim here, and the payments in total, I've collected $114,000. I still have this outstanding balance of almost $400,000. Again, this is not counted in my net worth, but I've collected $114,000. So you can see here, every week I'm collecting, even just last month alone, I collected $16,000 of the $95,000 came from my notes purchase. So that makes up a big chunk of my income. Now, royalties from the same company. Company does sales. You can see here, this is kind of a typical week. $2,800 comes in a week, and between the notes and the royalties, anywhere between $3,000 and $6,000 on a weekly basis, semi-passively. But why did I have $18,000 come in? Now, we have certain assets that we sell. They're one-time payments, and I had one at the start of the month, and I had another one at the end of the month. Here it is, the 28th. I had another big bump. I mean, between those two, that's $30,000 or so. Just over $32,000 and change. So that's not super common that I have that happen. Now, June might be on track. I have two big ones coming in, and that's kind of the end of it. I don't really have, I may have one more in the next 60 days, but I really don't have anything lined up. So besides that, when I'm looking at these transactions, this company here, this TM company is definitely one of my biggest contributors to the $95,000. We talked about some e-commerce, and I have another e-commerce company that pays me regularly. Let's talk about the VRBO Airbnb. So I had $1,600 here, $1,100 here, $1,600 here, $1,500 here. This is all new income for me. A brand new business that I just started, and I have a house that I purchased down in Arizona, and it's doing exceptionally well. I think I am on track for this coming month, $8,000 in gross rents. My mortgage is $3,300 a month, and I still have about 7 to 10 days open, and so I could easily pass the $10,000 mark. So I'm really hopeful and excited about this. And frankly, if I want to have just really high gross receipts in my net worth as a whole, just buy a couple more Airbnbs and I'll be at $150,000 a month or something, so, or I can make this $100,000, this close to $100,000 more regular if I buy, two more of these, because these one-off, pumps are going to go away. So I'm really, really excited about that. Really excited about that piece of rental income. Now I do have a W-2, and this will fluctuate. And this is kind of a semi-unstable company that they put me in as a CEO of. And so right now this is every 2 weeks. And I'm trying to work performance based as we're kind of exiting this current phase of that business. But I'm grateful for the income. It's $6,500 every 2 weeks. So, that's 13 grand of the $95,000. So I'm really, really, really grateful for that company. And then this year I have a program that I put together. My brother sells it in his courses. And so I get a small royalty there too. So that's makes up most of the active income. This is pretty consistent. VRBO, Airbnb, pretty consistent. Um, e-commerce, small transactions. I'm grateful for them. Royalties, and just this is consistent amounts that come in here. And you should always look at every transaction. And for me, this is motivating. you know the few purchases here, that are $3,000, or the income, $6,000, $30, $1,500, all that adds up to a really, really large amount. And that's why I track it. And my spending is kind of erratic. I'm an entrepreneur, and so some months, my life is a freaking roller coaster. I'm going to work my tail off for 3 months and spend money and do projects and stuff like that, and then I'll usually take 3 to 4 months where I go into a huge lull of low spending. And I just, my income kind of stays the same. And so I just save a ton. So that's why on this channel, I don't always talk about savings, but my savings rate, I did make a video about my savings rate in the previous month, and I'll probably do one again for this month. But, we are doing a container home, and it is not cheap. But anyway, I'm really excited about that. So you can already see that there's a trend this way here. I'm hoping that this will be the same or surpass it a little bit. But I do expect my income to kind of level off at some point, hopefully in that $75,000-$80,000 range, since I've purchased that rental down south. So my intention is to always move in the direction of things that I can control. I can control my gross income. I can control this. I can also control my savings rate, which is my net income. And so these are things that are in my control. And so with that said, guys, I mean, I'm trying to be pretty transparent with this stuff. Again, please like, subscribe, and give me a little bit of love here. And let me know if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer any of them. And let me know if you like these videos, and I'll keep doing more of them.